Great British love affair with train travel is as old as the railways themselves. From the beating heart of London's metropolis to the majesty of the Scottish Highlands. Connecting coast and countryside with our great cities, the East Coast Line has it all.
Disregard that, it's a glitch.
But it's the people who give life to this railway.
I won't risk it, I trust you.
The British public are the best form of entertainment on the planet.
The East Coast Line carries 19 million passengers a year on 155 train journeys a day, along almost 1,000 miles of track. East Coast is the largest operator on the line. It runs trains, manages stations, and employs nearly 3,000 staff.
That's all you do it all day. I'm not playing with you while you're showing off.
The East Coast workforce toils tirelessly.
Handy bags, please.
From driving trains...
Look at this office window. Fantastic.
...to making breakfasts...
I took that much bacon over the years, surprised I haven't turned into a pig.
...to controlling the whole train set.
Morning. That's absolutely excellent, Graham.
Keeping everything on track behind the scenes and in public.
I've been standing here for half an hour.
These are the real heroes of the railway. East Coast Trains is one of the British Transport Network's largest employers.
Bonjour!
Around 3,000 men and women share a diverse range of duties.
Here we go. Whistle while we work.
For most, it's so much more rewarding than a boring old desk job.
Look at this office window. Fantastic.
Not for them, a regular 9 to 5. Even if that means dealing with boisterous passengers.
We come from Scotland and we are great.
Or disgruntled customers.
But how long is that going to take? We've already been here for half an hour, mate.
I do understand your frustration, my friend.
When I left my last job as a finance director, when I joined the railway, I told my managing director when I told him I was going, if I had all the money in the world, I would actually pay someone to let me drive trains. But now somebody pays me to do it, so I can't ask for any more.
East Coast Trains employs a total of 330 drivers, manoeuvring diesel and electric trains along the backbone of Britain. It's every child's dream to drive a train, but only a lucky few ever get the chance. Steve traded in his 9-to-5 job as an accountant for a new life on the railway.
First thing I do when I get on the loco is I just check the repair book to make sure there's nothing in the repair book before I put the key in. And then I set the train up ready to do a brake test and just check the lights to make sure all the lights are okay. So I just do the brake test. So the brake pipe's going down, which shows that we've got a brake all the way through from the loco to the back of the train. I think we're okay. There doesn't seem to be any drastic repairs booked, so I think hopefully we'll be away on time. But I've got no wood to touch, so I should not have said that.
With his checks complete and his passengers on board, Steve is ready to set the 8:30 from London's King's Cross on its way to Newcastle.
Today we have 8 stops altogether, including Newcastle when we get there. I'm just going to test the horn because I test it when I leave King's Cross just to make sure it's working before we get too far. And this noise that you can hear there, that's our vigilance device, which you'll hear going off a number of times on the trip. It goes off approximately every 90 seconds. If you don't cancel it by lifting your foot and putting it back down again, the train brakes go on and it stops the train. But we get a very limited amount of time to cancel that. It's about 1.5 seconds. So you hope you don't get too many noises going off at the same time.
Back at King's Cross, it's not bells and whistles that need attention, it's people.
Just out here, upstairs, across the road upstairs. Have a nice weekend.
Travel consultant Joe's job is to help passengers get their right train.
Is that okay?
Yep, thank you.
Okay, sir. Working with the railways is the only way I can satisfy myself and enjoy what I'm doing by helping people, because with the railways you have to deal with customers. It's not a job that you just have to sit in the office. I will send you to the customer information center, so when time comes they can take you on the train.
Oh, that would be wonderful.
Okay.
Joe's happy to deal with any challenge from the travelling public.
I'm a people person. If you see me doing my job from the face, it will tell you that this guy loves people because I'm always smiling. Cheers, bye.
Today, Joe's people skills are being put to the test.
Apologies, my friend, my apologies.
Yeah, your apologies, but it's not going to get me to where I've got to go, is it?
This customer is a bit hot under his collar. He claims he put his money in the machine, but it failed to produce a ticket.
I put money into the machine and the machine's eaten my money and hasn't given me my ticket. And the man don't seem to be believing it or something, so I don't know. I've missed the first train, so I'm going to have to catch the second train now. I'm trying to get to Peterborough. £31 on a ticket, and the man tells me, don't use the machine, go to the window and pay. Don't use the machine, it's not their fault that the machines ain't working. Well, I'm sorry, yeah it is. It's your train station. And now I have to wait another 10 minutes while they go and work it out.
Joe's manager has gone to check for signs of the transaction.
When an incident happens like this, the bosses or myself have to go behind and check to know exactly what is the problem. So, my friend, apologies. I know the way you feel, but you just have to be patient. Yeah, Kevin is just going to count the money. Kevin is doing the job.
Yeah, he's not doing it properly because the money's inside the machine. He hasn't emptied nothing from the machine. And it isn't printing right because it hasn't printed my ticket. So if it's going to print him something out, how do we know that it's going to print him the right thing out? So I could be here for a long time.
No, you're not going to be for a long time. If that doesn't prove it,
he has to come back to empty all that out.
No, we're going to empty it. We're going to do that.
With no sign of a ticket from the machine, Joe escorts the passenger to the customer service desk.
I haven't got the money to get to Peterborough. I've just put my £31 in the machine. I need to get to Peterborough. Yeah, now you're saying to me, all it is in the machine. The machine doesn't have. Number 14. They can't find no money in the machine. I don't mind if I can get in writing off one of these that I'll accept being fined. I'll get on the train to Peterborough, but I'm going to get fined. But as soon as you lot find where my money is, you lot cancel the fine. That's fair enough. That's at least the best thing you can do. Can't expect me to pay £62 to travel to Peterborough.
It's not just passengers who hate delays. Up in Peterborough, Steve's Newcastle bound service is 2 minutes late, and he's just as frustrated as any paying customer.
No drivers like to be late. We tend to moan about the signallers a lot because they're the people who control the signals, and it tends to be the signals that will slow us down. But the railway, it's not that simple because the railway is a very busy place. But ideally, we would like to come into work every day and drive our trains exactly on time that they're supposed to run. But we don't get to do that often enough, unfortunately. You'll see me waving now and again. Basically, it's just the thing we do. We wave to all the other drivers. And the train spotters, if you see them as well.
Back at King's Cross, Joe's still trying to solve the mystery of the ticketless customer.
You just came up with an idea that they should check the camera to see that if you...
But how long is that going to take? I've already been here for half an hour, mate.
I do understand.
You don't understand because you're doing standing this and I understand.
No, I do understand. I do understand your frustration, my friend.
Behind the scenes, East Coast staff are frantically checking the CCTV cameras to see if the passenger's story checks out.
He pulled something out. He definitely pulled something out.
What did he do then?
I don't know. Go back.
Shift manager Julie reviews the tapes.
If that's the case, he's done a car transaction and it hasn't gone through. He's trying to say it's cash. That woman's in a really bad position.
Yeah.
Back on the floor, Joe's trying to keep things calm.
I will try to do my best, yes. So just give some time again.
Don't give him some time. I've been standing here for half an hour. Keep saying time. Saying time, mate.
And how much was the ticket?
31 quid.
So you'd be looking at two notes at least.
But he's got, and also he's got his carry bag in his left hand. So how can you keep
feet and hold your wallet?
How can you take a note out of a wallet with one hand
Yeah, and feed it in and hold your wallet. No, I'm not convinced.
All right.
Let's go and give him the bad news. Thank you. We're just going to go and speak to the customer. I'm going to suggest that we take his name and address details, and we'll do a full cash audit on the fast ticket machine tomorrow. And if the cash machine has got more money in it than it should have, then I'll contact the customer and he can come back for his money. It's gone. Where is it? Where's the customer? He's gone.
The passenger has seemingly, well, vanished into thin air.
We're just waiting for the customer to come back. He went for a drink at about 3 o'clock, maybe 20 minutes ago, and he hasn't come back yet, so we'll see. I don't think he's coming back.
Joe gets back to work.
Gentlemen, you okay? You need any help? I don't think that he's going to come back. He must have realized that he hasn't chucked in the money, so end of story.
And we'll never know if the customer ever made it to Peterborough. Crew manager Ian goes back to the floor.
Morning!
And trainee Carol faces her worst fear.
Tea, coffee, sandwiches. I'm scared of the trolley.
As East Coast trains race through the countryside, they can reach speeds of up to 125 miles an hour.
This is basically the power handle, so this regulates the amount of power that I'm putting through the loco. This is the brake handle, so they're the two most important things we use. We're only doing 95 at the moment, but they tend to think when we get up to 125 it seems very fast, but because we're used to it, it doesn't seem fast to us anymore. I'd probably have to go on a Eurostar for it to appear fast. But then, if you look out sideways, because looking forwards, nothing's going past you that fast, but if you look sideways, you can actually get the sense of speed much more.
But Steve's well aware his job is not all about the speed. He does have to stop too, something he takes great pride in.
Each time I stop at a station, I try and stop it gently, just in case people are standing up, because there'll probably be people getting ready to get off, so I try and stop it as a nice, gentle stop. That's what I would like if I was a passenger, so I try to do it the same for them. So we're on time now, just about. So we made up that couple of minutes we lost running into Peterborough.
Full speed ahead as Steve's on-time London to Newcastle service speeds towards his next stop, Doncaster.
To me, this is fun. I really enjoy this. I enjoy coming to work. Look at this office window. It's fantastic.
Not all East Coast staff are lucky enough to enjoy the freedom of riding the rails. One employee who is usually stuck behind a desk crunching numbers is crew manager Ian, though he's not one to let the job get him down. Ian's been with East Coast for 16 years and manages a crew of 42 employees.
Very demanding job. A lot of things, a lot of people need your attention all the time. You're either a sane person who doesn't sleep or you're just crazy.
Today, Ian's in luck. He's getting out of the office and going back to the floor.
Bonjour!
As a reward to his crew for scoring highly on a recent performance review.
Good morning, Pierre.
It's not so much about being a day out of the office, it's all about giving one of my teams a day off to actually go and do something else. That's what today's about, really. And hopefully not fall flat on your face while you're out here doing it. Fingers crossed.
Trouble is, Ian doesn't get out much.
Morning!
Today, he has the responsibility of running the snack bar and is expected to bring in a profit of around £80.
Chocolates. Right, I'm logging on. I'm going in. I've been told I've got 11 bacon toasties to sell. So if I sell 12, I'm in trouble.
He'll have to sharpen his sales technique if he is to hit his target. He's been given a float of £37.40.
I've got a £37.40 float. I'm a cash handler this morning, and my cash handling skills will be questioned if they're up to the match later on. I will have a £37.40 float when I get to London. Plus, loads of money.
York Station is home to the East Coast Training Academy. Today, 13 eager new customer service recruits are here to learn how to drive a trolley the right way.
Is everyone all right? Did you sleep well? Yeah. Yeah, had a good sleep. Did you have a nice breakfast? So.
The Trolley Dolly trainees are in the capable hands of instructors Gail and Darren.
Right, what I'd like to do today then is operate the equipment in the catering vehicle. So we're going to have a bit of a play, a bit of a touch, which should be more enjoyable for you today.
Today is the final training session before the recruits are let loose on a real train and real passengers.
We have what we call a wet side and a dry side in the kitchens.
Carol is one of the trainees. Like Steve the driver, she's left a desk job to try a new career on the railway.
Well, I love travel, so I've always wanted to work for the railways or anything to do with travel. But I looked and there was something there and I applied and was very lucky to get it.
But there's one thing Carol is not looking forward to during training.
We've got different types of trolleys on board. This is one of the smaller types.
I'm scared of the trolley. It's just something, it's the unknown, isn't it? I'm like, will I be able to push that trolley, etc., and get down those aisles? My daughter used to keep saying, Mother, I just can't imagine with a trolley.
And that's you, yeah?
Operating a trolley is not as easy as it looks.
It is slightly different doing it on the train, because obviously you've got the movement of the train. But the good thing about the train is that you do have the seats to help keep it steady as well.
To be fair, I'm not really that worried about the trolley because I've manual handled the trolley before, so it don't really scare me that much.
Fully stocked, it weighs 40 kilograms. Imagine manoeuvring that down a crowded carriage. Or even between two tables in a classroom.
Does anybody want to help, Cam?
Is that 2 coffees?
Jack, on the other hand, has had plenty of on-board experience.
That is 2.25, please.
When I'm working on the standard trolley, I used to just say, oh, I'm working on the standard trolley, until sort of a couple of customers once, I was having a joke with them, said, oh, are you a trolley dolly? And that's just kind of stuck for me. I know of someone who once was going through with the trolley and they actually ran over someone's foot because the person wasn't in the way at the time, but they actually stuck their foot out just as the trolley went past. So that was, yeah, we had to do a lot of paperwork there.
Crew manager Ian is 20 minutes into a 2-hour journey from Leeds to King's Cross. He's keen to sell to reach his £80 target, but he's off to a slow start.
Don't see me, nobody coming down in a minute. Very soon our Vicky will make an announcement and tell all the lovely people down there that we're open. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Pleased to tell you our cafe bar is now open. If you'd like any hot drinks on this cold morning, or any freshly made bacon toasties, or any hot paninis, they're all available at the cafe bar now. Let's see what happens now.
But business is slow. Ian is convinced his sales have been sabotaged by fellow crew member Darren, who's operating the trolley.
He's gone that way, and he's catered to everybody's needs, and now he's coming back this way, catering to everybody's needs, and everybody thinks, I don't need to go down to that cafe bar. It's very frustrating, this for me. I'll have to unleash myself. I want to break out and go and talk to somebody.
Over in York is the moment Carol's been dreading, driving the trolley. First, she must refuel, release the brakes, a quick check of the mirrors, and she's off.
Morning, everybody. Anybody want anything from the trolley? Can I have a coffee, please? Absolutely.
Her first order, and the cups aren't cooperating.
Maybe.
Oh, sugar.
No, I don't want sugar this morning, thanks.
Terrifying. It was just a little bit scary, but I'm sure once you get used to doing it and you're in the training environment, it'll be a lot different than in the classroom.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Trolley training is over. Carol's next customers will be fully paid up passengers on board a real train. After a miserable morning with precisely 0 customers, crew boss Ian has just about reached the end of his tether. But finally...
And what sort of tea do you sell? Have you any mint tea?
Peppermint.
Please, yeah. Thank you.
not 1, but 2 customers. When it rains, it pours.
That's smashing. How are you? Have you been
Full of
busy?
the joys. Very busy.
Have you?
Welcome. I'm honoured you are my first customer this morning, young lady. It's a grand total of £4.75.
£4.75. There we go.
Bless you.
Thank you very much. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Ian's finally made a sale, but not the big bucks he was hoping for. Some espionage is required. Ian takes a sneaky peek at how much his competitor Darren has made on the trolley. The news isn't good.
Dazzler is taking 2/3 of the money this train needs to take this morning, which is just as well because we aren't doing it down here. I've reset me objectives for today this morning. I don't think I'm going to give me 78 quid. Unless I threaten to run down the train naked and say, give me £5 or I'll do it, I don't know.
Thankfully, another customer, and maybe he's a big spender.
Right, what have you got hot food-wise, please?
So we can do an all-day breakfast thing, which is bacon, sausage, egg and all that.
I'll go for that, the all-day breakfast, yeah. Awesome.
Give us 2 minutes, boss.
Got a busy day ahead of you? Another one?
So far, no. Later, yes.
Yeah.
You enjoy.
Thank you, mate.
Bless you.
See you later. Cheers.
Here's my maid back.
Ian's return to the floor hasn't been as profitable as he hoped. Time to cash up and see how bad the day's takings have been.
I've taken a grand total, hey, 23.50.
That's it.
Bang it in.
As they pull into London, Ian worries about what his crew will make of his poor performance.
My lot's going to kill me when they find out I've been on their bar and taken £23.50.
Fortunately for East Coast, normal service will be resumed tomorrow when Ian will be safely back behind his desk.
There we go. Job's done, job's finished, we're cashed up. This bar's beautiful, next crew. Bye from me.
Steve tackles leaves on the line.
It's like a car trying to run on ice.
A Scottish football team prepares for an important trip to London.
There's still a chance to win the league, so fingers crossed.
And Carol steps out of the classroom and onto a train.
Here we go.
Throughout the year, East Coast train drivers battle the elements. The worst Britain has to offer. Today, on Steve's 300-mile journey to Newcastle, is a good old dose of British rain.
So this is probably worse today because we've had the dry weather, and it seems to be that the first couple of days after a dry spell, if you get rain, the track's that much slippier. It can be difficult to drive, but it's worse during our infamous leaf fall season. People think it's like a joke that we have trouble when there's leaves on the line, but it is horrendous. First of all, when you're accelerating, it's like a car trying to run on ice. If you've got leaf fall or very bad fog combined, that makes it quite an intense journey because you're concentrating a lot all the time.
But whether it's leaves or rain, Steve's got a trick for dealing with slippage.
Basically, we have a sander button here, and when we press that, there's sand boxes underneath the loco, and they have nozzles which point the sand underneath, right directly underneath the wheels of the loco, and they help it grip. You could have a day where the train would slip a lot for the whole journey, and you might be using it a lot. I don't know if you can hear the whining noise. They're slipping again, and you start to pick these things up, and it's an experience as a driver over the years that you pick that up. So I'll sand it again for the moment.
Steve may have his hands full dealing with leaves and rain, but he does enjoy the solitude. Not a perk for everyone who works at East Coast.
Well, there you go. Thank you.
Physically, it can be very tiring. Mentally, it can be a challenge. The problem is, as a crew leader for me, I have nowhere to go on a train to get away from people. Because when you're out there, it's excuse me, can you help with this, can you help with that? Which is my role and which I should be. And when I go in the kitchen, I've got all my crew saying, oh, where's this, what's happening with this? What's happening with this? And sometimes you have to go and literally lock yourself in the toilet for 5 minutes just to get a little bit of, clarity.
At Leeds Station in Yorkshire, customer service trainee Carol will be trying to resist the urge to lock herself in the toilet. It's her first day serving real customers on a moving train.
Hiya. Are you Maggie?
I am. You
nice
Carol?
to meet you. Yes, lovely to meet you.
You're welcome, love.
She's in good hands with her mentor, Maggie. After 11 years on board, she knows all the tricks of the trade.
How are you feeling today?
I've been really frightened, really scared, but excited at the same time.
Yeah, it's exciting work, but don't be scared. You'll enjoy it. You'll enjoy it. You won't be able to wait until you come back tomorrow.
Wonderful, that's what I want to hear.
It's a first shift, so she's a bit shy and nervous, and going to learn how we do first class and how to serve food, drinks, and help to the passengers. She'll be fine. Her nerves will go away by the end she gets into London.
As the train pulls away for the 2.25-hour trip from Leeds to London, Carol prepares to face her public.
Mixture of emotions, really. Excited, obviously, because it's a new job, but also quite scared. Been a bit of a wimp today, really, and that's not me. But I just want to do a good job.
Carol managed the trolley in training, but now it's the real deal.
Here we go. Whistle while we work.
And today she'll be spoiling her customers with a first-class service.
There you are. Enjoy. No fruit, no crisps, no cake. You drive fast, Maggie.
Now Carol gets tips from the kitchen staff on how to keep hot pies on the plate.
The easiest thing to remember is to try and walk like a penguin.
Thank you very much.
And if walking like a penguin doesn't work, Maggie has another suggestion.
I've just got to get used to my train legs.
The best way to do it is
Yeah.
to take drunk.
Oh, right. Enjoy.
It's fine. The more she does it, the better she'll get, which is fine, because I can see that she's going to be like one of these chatty ones, so she's fine. That's the way to do it.
Our next challenge,
Sauvignon Blanc.
pouring drinks at 125 miles an hour.
Sorry, I forgot to ask you, do you want a big one or a little one? You got a big one?
I wouldn't have known that this was somebody who was here on her first day. I mean, apart from anything else, she can keep her balance on these fast-moving trains, but on top of that, she can pour tea and milk without spilling it on this fast-moving train.
A train full of satisfied customers arrives at their destination, and Carol has survived her first day out of the office.
You've done a really good job, this one. Next one's going to be better, so just think positive.
I will.
Right? And if you've got any questions, just ask.
I will
right?
do, absolutely.
the dreaded trolley, piece of cake.
It wasn't as bad as what I expected it to be. I am looking forward to my next shift. I will turn up tomorrow.
When I first started, I got home after my first few shifts. After the first week, I was going to Glasgow, so it's 14-hour shifts on the train. I stood in the kitchen and my legs were still swaying in the kitchen at home. And after a few years, you do get a balance and a walk to it. And so the odd times you do end up on passengers' laps or falling over them if the train goes over some points a bit rough. You just apologise and move on quickly.
Steve, the driver, just loves his job, but his schedule is not to everyone's liking.
I put the biggest challenge down of being a train driver as the wife moaning about the shifts. She'll always moan about working at weekends and nights, but doesn't tend to say when I'm home during the day and I can do jobs or we can go out together. So that's, I suppose, on a personal basis is the challenge.
At heart, Steve's an old romantic, at home and at work.
One of the things I really enjoy about being a train driver is, as you're getting out of the cab, you're seeing people run off the train and they're running into the arms of someone that they love and they've missed and they've not seen for a long time. And you think, actually, I've been part of getting those two people together, so that's really nice. Well, it does have the adverse side as well of it, is that sometimes you'll see them as you walk down the train when you're getting the train ready, and you'll see them in a hug because they're being split up by us travelling away, but you know that ultimately you're going to bring them back together again one day as well. And it's just a great thing to see. It's nice.
Steve loves bringing people together.
Here we are, Newcastle and on time. Good trip.
And he knows every train journey tells a story. Scotland's capital city, Edinburgh, is home to Waverley Station. It's the second largest railway station in the UK and a northern hub for East Coast trains. Tomorrow, members of the Hot Scots Football Club will take the train from Waverley to London for an important league game.
My name's Neil, I play for the Hot Scots at left back, and we're here tonight for a training session before our big game on Saturday. So we're heading down to London to play against the London Titans in our final away game of the season. And yeah, we're hoping to get the 3 points, still a chance to win the league, so fingers crossed.
The Hot Scots are hot, in more ways than one.
It's a gay league that we play in. It's certainly not exclusive. We have heterosexual players, we have women players. We certainly don't discriminate in that respect. Oh, good save.
It's a community club. It's really about getting people of all ages, sexuality, gender, to come along and play football.
The club was founded in 2007 to take on teams up and down the UK.
I hope it goes a little bit towards sort of breaking down barriers and the opposition realise that we're not maybe as stereotyped as they might have in their heads. You know, we can play in the mud, we can play in the rain. Our throw-ins are quite normal. So the name Hot Scots is kind of a funny thing. I kind of hope that would encourage people not to take it super seriously. It can be slightly embarrassing sometimes when we're playing just down the regular park or something. Some of the kids are walking by going, oh, so what team is it? Oh, Hot Scots. Don't ask.
Question is, will they live up to their name tomorrow? When they head to London with the league title on the line. Steve has a surprise passenger.
You keep your fingers crossed that one-off thing that happens once in your railway career doesn't happen when you've got your manager sitting next to you.
And the Hot Scots ride the rails from Waverley.
Are we going out tonight?
Don't think we will tonight.
No, you're going out tonight.
I'm going out.
I'm going out tonight with the other team.
On the platform in Newcastle, train driver Steve's about to head back to London, and he's been joined by a surprise guest. Colin, his manager, will ride alongside Steve to assess his driving skills. With safety a priority, every East Coast driver is assessed on a regular basis. Ever the optimist, Steve is glad of the company.
It's always good to have someone in the cab because it's one of the things people have said it can be a lonely job. So even to have your manager in doing an assessment, it just makes it a little bit more interesting to chat to people about things. What I try to do is I try to do my job the same every day. And as long as I do that, I'm doing it right and Colin will be happy, hopefully. Well, we see what happens. Famous last words.
They pull off. Colin watching his every move. But what's he looking for?
It's his general driving abilities. Also to make sure he complies with the speed restrictions. Nice smooth stops. This is what I like to see is when a train runs into a platform, people are invariably getting up, getting luggage out of racks. So you don't want to be stopping in a hoop. You want to come in nice and smoothly, and that gives a better passenger experience.
Every year, 25 million passengers pass through Edinburgh's Waverley Station, and members of the Scots football club are among them, ready to board an East Coast train south to London's King's Cross.
Yes, the big moment. We're on the way, very shortly on the way down to London for the big game tomorrow, and hopefully get the victory and then go out and enjoy ourselves, essentially, and celebrate. A bit crowded, but we'll use our silky skills to sneak past them and we'll be fine.
The boys get settled in for the close to 5-hour journey to London. A long way to travel for an amateur league, but this isn't just any league.
It's the only gay football league in the entire world, essentially.
We're in the first division, which is the Premier League of the world's only gay and lesbian football league. So if we win that, that's something to be very proud of.
Pride aside, now it's time to talk tactics.
Are we going out tonight?
Don't think we will tonight.
No, you're going out
tonight.
tonight. I'm going out tonight with the other team till 6 a.m. So that they're good and ready for the game tomorrow. And everyone else is going to bed. That's my job.
All jokes aside, they take their game very seriously.
Gay people have this bad image that they're all fairies and they don't like contact sports, which is very stereotypical, and it's not like that. That's one of the reasons why I joined. I felt really comfortable joining the team and hope to be there for many years. Whether I get picked is another thing.
When we started playing some of the mainstream teams in Edinburgh and Lothians, and you had teams that were turning up not quite knowing what it would be like, you're kind of a bit embarrassed for them, and then going back to work on Monday saying, oh yeah, we got beat 6-0, yeah. So it can be quite funny that way.
It's 2013 and I think most mainstream teams would be okay with it, because if you're only good at football, they'll generally accept you.
Yeah.
If you're not any good at football, then maybe they won't.
Yeah. Hopefully it'll encourage more people to take part in football, and if we're just another outlet for that, then great. But at the end of the day, it makes a difference. What sexuality are you should be able to enjoy the game, that's it.
You know, we do have straight people in the team as well, and you know, some of the tourist new recruits are straight, and they're very good football players. We hope to build a team around them soon.
Spirits are high as they pull into King's Cross.
The mighty Hard Scots, we come from Scotland and we are great. We have defenders who won't surrender. I will take your trophy away. That's how we do.
The Hot Scots went on to win the game 3-1, but sadly missed out on the league title by 2 points. Not to worry, lads. There's always next year. Heading for King's Cross, Steve's trying to score points with Colin as his referee, but the typical British weather is trying to catch him offside.
Oh, slipping. Because of the rain, it's a bit drizzling.
Is there anything you can do on these to actually ease the wheel slip problem?
We don't have any sanders on them.
Absolutely, we haven't got any sanders.
So it's really easing off power until and you're just finding a place at which they will take the power level you've got.
Good.
Colin's impressed, but as they pull into the first station, Steve has to put on the brakes gently.
The stop was fine. It was nice and smooth and controlled, and we stopped in the appropriate position. That's spot on.
I'll heighten the tension now and say the one that I hate stopping at is the stupid lollipop in King's Cross. we have a lollipop in King's Cross where we have to stop and it lines the train up so they can get the water pipes on. And because the HSTs, the brakes tend to react, go on and come off a little bit slower than they do on the electrics, they're that little bit harder to get stopped right. But it's a matter of just having it all under control as you run in, that's the thing. So we'll see what happens when we get there. I can bribe my manager now. Would you like a wine gum?
I will, but that won't make no difference.
I'll give it back then.
Passing this assessment is important to Steve. He couldn't imagine not driving trains. But it's not just driving tests he must endure to keep his license.
We have medicals at the moment every 5 years until we're 60 years old, and then we have to have them every 2 years. And I think if I went into a medical and they said, sorry, you're going to have to come off train driving because your hearing isn't good enough or your eyesight isn't good enough now, it would probably be devastating given how much I love the job. So I tend to dread the medicals a bit.
With one stop to go, Steve's assessment is nearly complete. No pressure at all.
Hopefully I'm doing okay. I just drive how I normally drive and hopefully that's good enough. And you keep your fingers crossed that one-off thing that happens once in your railway career doesn't happen when you've got your manager sitting next to you.
It is purely about his driving because the most important thing is that he drives the train safely. And if that means we've got to be late because they put something in front of us, then we can't do anything about it. You know, we endeavour to be there on time because, again, every driver wants to get their train from A to B on time as part of a professional pride.
With his confidence high, Steve pulls into King's Cross Station. Precision is needed as he faces his arch nemesis, the lollipop. He needs to stop this 453-ton diesel engine on a sixpence, under the eagle eye of his manager.
That'll do you fine there, spot on.
Inch perfect. He made it.
This is the lollipop that it's probably the one thing that I would say is a little bit of pressure when you run an HST into King's Cross. I'm keen to not be the person who somebody else gets called down later on to move the train because they can't get the pipes on it. So, no, it worked well and I was pleased.
But what does Colin think of his efforts?
I'm very happy. He's shown a very good level of confidence and professionalism throughout the day, so I'm more than happy with his performance today. Any questions you want to ask?
No, that's fine. I'm happy with
Good.
the assessment.
OK then, good. Right.
Time to go home.
It is time to go home.
Colin's happy. Steve can finally relax. Looks like he'll be back in the driver's seat tomorrow. The great British love affair with train travel is as old as the railways themselves. From the beating heart of London's metropolis to the majesty of the Scottish Highlands. Connecting coast and countryside with our great cities, the East Coast Line has it all.
Disregard that, it's a glitch.
But it's the people who give life to this railway.
Come on, Frisco, I trust you.
British public are the best form of entertainment on the planet.
The East Coast Line carries 19 million passengers a year on on 155 train journeys a day, along almost 1,000 miles of track. East Coast is the largest operator on the line. It runs trains, manages stations, and employs nearly 3,000 staff.
That's all you do it all day. I'm not playing with you while you're showing off.
The East Coast workforce toils tirelessly.
Mandy bags, please.
From driving trains...
Look at this office window. Fantastic.
...to making breakfasts...
I've cooked that much bacon over the years, surprised I haven't turned into a pig.
...to controlling the whole train set.
Morning. That's absolutely excellent, Graham. Thank you very much for that news.
Keeping everything on track behind the scenes and in public.
I've been standing here for half an hour.
These are the real heroes of the railway. The beating heart of the East Coast network is its fleet of trains. East Coast boasts 41 engines in total. Each one is a key part of the team, but some have been afforded celebrity status. The Flying Scotsman, the Battle of Britain, and Skyfall are among the famous names on the line. And there's also a sporting superstar. Meet the Sir Bobby Robson. On a typical working day, the Sir Bobby Robson carries over 1,000 passengers and covers over 1,000 miles on return trips between London and Edinburgh.
So you think he's not on this train? You think he's got a ticket for this train and he's maybe missed it?
Tell him he can't claim it back.
Sausages. Lovely.
Nearly all of the East Coast onboard staff regularly find themselves working on this train.
Oh, me bacon!
Smells like burnt bacon in here, like, Mark.
Is it? Oh, no, why?
As it travels the length of Britain.
My biggest hero was Sir Bobby Robson. He used to travel on the route quite a bit, and he was always a pleasure to have on board, him and his wife. And obviously, with it being an avid Newcastle supporter, to have him, to meet him in person on the train was just a dream come true. He was such an iconic person. They named a locomotive, I think that was after he had passed away. So I like that when I see that one going around, because it does fetch a smile to my face to see the one with Bobby Robson's name on it.
It's 5 a.m. and the start of another typical working day for the Sir Bobby Robson begins at the Bounds Green Maintenance Depot in North London. Over the course of the day, almost 60 East Coast staff will work on board this train, and first up today is driver Colin. He will deliver the Sir Bobby Robson to King's Cross, where his daily duties will begin.
I met Sir Bobby Robson when I was a driver at Ipswich. He was on a platform with his wife, and he asked me if the train that was approaching the platform was the London train. He was a gentleman, yeah, absolutely.
The engine's first job of a grueling 21-hour working day is a return trip from London to Edinburgh.
I don't think the public have got any idea how hard the trains work. It has got a whole day's work ahead of it.
It's just after 6 a.m, an hour before departure. The Sir Bobby Robson is fully stocked, ready for dispatch. The 1,000-mile journey is just the first leg of a marathon shift, which will end long after midnight. There will be 6 drivers taking control of the engine over the course of his working day, and the first of them is Graham.
Today, this train, it'll terminate at Edinburgh, it'll be cleaned and sorted for its return journey. It'll go all the way back to King's Cross on another passenger service. And again, once it terminates at King's Cross, it'll be cleaned again, and then it'll turn around again and come back to Newcastle. Once it's at Newcastle, terminate, turn around, go back to King's Cross and on passenger service, and then once it's back at King's Cross at night, it'll go out to Bounds Green, where it'll have its routine maintenance looked at.
Graham is delighted to be driving an engine named after a footballing legend.
He was a football manager. He was quite successful at Ipswich, wasn't he? He was England manager for, I think he was one of England's longest serving managers, is that right? The Geordies hold him with great affection, don't they? Of a legendary figure within the game. Sadly gone now, yeah. I think it's nice to have a name on a tray. It just makes it a little bit more interesting for the passengers and for the public.
Back in the train's tiny kitchen, Chef Chris presides over a flurry of bacon and biscuits.
I went to college, did catering, and then my brother works on the trains. He works at Peterborough Station, and he kind of got me an interview. I used to work in a big kitchen with like 8 chefs, and then I came here and I was like, wow, is this a kitchen? It's not really a kitchen. So, yeah, it took a lot of getting used to. Very different. Because you're cooking whatever they want you to do, you can't do anything yourself, you know.
Chris is also a fan of the train's famous namesake.
Yeah, it's a good idea. He was a legend, so nice man. I met him on the train. Yeah, I gave him breakfast a few years ago. He was really nice.
While Chris grills the bacon, guard Marcus is front of house punching tickets.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, can I see tickets, please? Cheers, thank you very much for that. Great, thanks a lot. We'll have reservations and tickets, yes. That's great, cheers. There you go, thanks a lot. Yeah, this is the 7 o'clock East Coast to Edinburgh. Gets into Edinburgh about 11:20. It's got the new loco on it, Sir Bobby Robson, who was recently named, his wife was there at the ceremony. It literally is only the engine at the front, the locomotive at the front of the train that's called Sir Bobby Robson, because the coaches can be taken out, interchanged. It's just the loco, yeah. It's nice in it just being a loco number. The locos used to have names on them, and unfortunately, when they got repainted and resprayed, they just removed all plates, all names, and just went back to just the loco number. It was quite a shame. Morning, can I see tickets, please? Morning. There's not normally passengers this time of day. They're not terribly chatty. They just want to get their head down, do a bit of work, or sleep normally. Yeah, so you don't get much response out of people at this time of the morning, unfortunately. Morning, can I see tickets, please? Cheers, thank you very much.
Just as Marcus completes his ticket check, the train reaches its first stop of the day.
Cheers, darling. Thank you very much. There you go. Ladies and gentlemen, a few moments' time, as you're arriving into Peterborough. You're leaving us here, please ensure that you do have all items of personal belongings. Now I've got to run down the back. We do it from the back so we can see the train leave the whole of the platform and still see the dispatcher, and if they wanted us to stop the train, you know, we need to see them for as long as we possibly can. Right, normally I'd try and get myself to the back of the train before we even came into the station. I'll go from this one.
As the Sir Bobby Robson pulls out of Peterborough, the crew's first job is to feed the first-class passengers.
We're on the 7 o'clock from King's Cross, which is 1 Sierra 05, aka Bobby Robson. I am the crew leader on board, and my job is to make sure that everything works together.
As those in first class tuck into their full English breakfasts, over in standard class, a group of foreign travellers have lost something important.
We've lost a colleague on the way.
Do you think they're on the train?
I hope they're on the train. Yeah, but the problem is we do this every few weeks with a group, and we always lose somebody.
Right.
So I'm always asking the train guard, can you please help me out, and have you seen him?
I don't know, because I don't know what he looks like.
I can show you a picture of him.
He's a lawyer.
Go on then.
Yeah. He's a lawyer.
Right.
Yeah, but it's not too obvious he's a lawyer. Is he okay on the next train then?
I don't know. So you think he's not on this train? You think he's got a ticket for this train and he's maybe missed it?
I think he missed it.
Missing the appointed train could prove to be a costly mistake.
Train travel is quite expensive now. So, you know, if somebody's travelling on a wrong train by half an hour, I'm sort of coming along and saying, well, I'm really sorry that you've already spent £50 to £100. you now owe me £100 or more, so in some cases. It's not a very nice job at times. No. I can't remember, sorry.
As Marcus gets busy checking the Peterborough passengers' tickets, he finds himself sounding a bit like a broken record.
Very much. We've got your reservation there as well, sir. So we've got your reservation over there, sir. Oh, those are the 2 reservations. There's 2 tickets as well, sorry. That's the reservation, mate. There's another bit as well, actually. That's your ticket. There's another bit. That's the reservation. That's the reservation. Keep going. Do you have your ticket? Do you have your reservation? It is the most common phrase said. Since they brought these advance tickets out a few years ago, and it was up 2 separate tickets, multi-piece tickets. You ask any guard and he will tell you the same thing. They are a bit of a nightmare, and they make the whole process a bit longer for us because a lot of people, unfortunately, don't read what's on the ticket in front of them.
It's chaos in the kitchen, courtesy of East Coast dynamic duo Mark and Karen.
Oh, my bacon!
Smells like burnt bacon in here, like Mark.
Does it? Oh, no, why?
Mark always burns the bacon.
Named after the legendary England manager, the Sir Bobby Robson engine is heading north towards York. And this morning, it's not only Sir Bobby that's been remembered. East Coast Railway chaplain Stephen is overseeing a special dedication service.
We are blessing a brand new bench which has been very kindly donated in memory of the West Yorkshire Regiment. And so we're blessing it with the regimental chaplain, and then they're going on to a service in York Minster.
May this bench serve to remind all who sit and take their rest of the work of those who serve their Queen in the Yorkshire Regiment. May they find this place of temporary rest bring a moment of solace and peace on the journey of life.
And may the blessing of God Almighty, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit be with us all this day and forevermore. It's really important to have things like this because actually in Remembrance Week we use the benches as a focal point when we place the poppy wreaths in remembrance of the staff when we do the services. So yeah, so that's really good.
With the bench respectfully unveiled, the assembled clergy want to give it a go.
Yeah, we want one sat down on the bench.
Yeah, why not? We've done some work this morning, so why shouldn't we sit and have a rest? Actually, we're not doing it for you. We're just doing it for our own
We're just doing it for us. Yeah, we just wanted to sit on it.
Leaving York behind, the Sir Bobby Robson speeds up the East Coast line. At the controls is driver Graham.
I've actually been a train driver for just over 8 years now. So my dad, he's a train driver. He doesn't work for this company, he works for a freight company. But I've always been interested in it, and I always saw something I fancied doing. And well, I think it's a bit of both, isn't it? Your dad's a train driver, so that's what you see him doing day in, day out, and of course you get an interest because that's his job. I've always said, you know, it's the best job on the railway. I mean, other people might disagree, but you know, it's I get to come to work every day and drive a train, which I think a lot of people would like to do.
The train speeds through County Durham towards Newcastle, Sir Bobby Robson's spiritual home.
Don't laugh at my gloves.
And Chef Chris cleans the kitchen in preparation for the next shift.
That's me done. And get on the next train on the way back.
Anyway, not me, don't be a liar. Who's turning me veggies upside down now?
On another service, Geordie duo Mark and Karen are gearing up for breakfast.
Oh, my bacon!
Smells like burnt bacon in here, like, no?
Does it? Oh, no, I. First time.
Mark always burns the bacon.
I burnt it. I'm not going to pretend it's well done or I just burnt it, but it's because I was busy feeling them out of the basically. Because
we weren't even in it.
Yes, we were. Yes, we were. So if it wasn't for me.
Mark's a chef, not a CSE. All right, finished.
Anything for breakfast?
Yeah, can we have the bacon sandwich, please?
Thank you. Cheers now.
East Coast carries thousands of tourists every year, and Mark and Karen like to show their first-class guests that personal touch.
Oh, Danish. All right, Danish fish, yeah. Danish breakfast. They come around on the trolley, mate. Where are you travelling to? It's Peterborough, right? The bakery baskets come around, all right?
Are you going to Edinburgh?
Morning. Edinburgh.
The ladies going to Edinburgh.
Peterborough. Eat the Danish breakfast through us. Do you want a Yugoslavian one? Do you want a Yugoslavian one?
Sorry?
Yugoslavian? French, French, right? So it's full breakfast then, yeah? No, cheers. Would you like anything for breakfast this morning?
Chef Mark is proud of his powers of communication, whatever the language barrier.
To eat? No? No food? Hold on. Do you want food? No, you don't want food. Spot on, thank you. What's happening?
I think they're going to have breakfast.
Hold on.
2 breakfasts. 2? Yes?
You see, we've been through all this. What's different? What's changed your mind?
Yeah, they like me more.
Is it? Do you think she's cooking it? Look at this, man.
I'm the chef. I'm better.
Right, do you want sausage? You like sausage? Sausage. Walls. Sausages. Walls.
Two
Two full English. 2 sausages. Leave all that. Sort them for your fit. She never spoke. And then I said sausage. She went, sausage!
Nowhere on the East Coast line is a Sir Bobby Robson engine more welcome than in Newcastle.
This sounds really silly. I love coming back home. I love coming back to Newcastle. And you see the Angel of the North and you know you're coming home. No matter what time of day it is, coming over the bridge and seeing the Tyne Bridge and the Swing Bridge below. And it's a nice feeling. And it sounds daft, but every now and then you'll look at it and I get goosebumps, you know, because I'm just very sort of proud to be a Geordie and from Newcastle.
Train now at platform 2 is East Coast Service 2, Edinburgh Waverley. This train will call Edinburgh Waverley only.
During the course of the working day, there will be several shift changes as the Sir Bobby Robson works his way from London to Edinburgh, back to London, and then once again to Newcastle, before finally returning to London King's Cross. Phew! And on the station in the city, which will see the train 3 times in one day, are platform team Claire and Pam.
Do you need a ramp on the train? Is it easier, yeah? For getting up on the ramp, yeah? Right, we'll sort it out then, don't worry.
You can jump up, man.
Are you going to jump for us?
Oh, yeah.
You're going to jump? Bless you.
I meant you're 84, you're over jumping all over.
84? You don't look 84.
Well, I know that.
You're looking good. You're looking good. They'd been in the Navy. I liked him. You see, that's the sort of people I like. I think you've got to give them a little bit of respect. I'll get the ramp down first, gents, all right? Oh, dear me. I'll just see if I can... Just get Pam to give us a hand. Oh, don't even go there. That's never happened before in my whole career. What, 18 years? So, yeah, I don't know what happened with that. I think I just went a bit too far and I got my ramp stuck. I've got the ramp stuck.
Only Claire could do this.
Only I could do this. Go got it
Right,
on.
no,
but I
you
haven't got it.
haven't.
It's too far forward. That's it, you got it.
Watch your fingers.
I just couldn't get it in the right position with that door.
Pull it forward.
Got it.
Right.
Oh
no, that'll give them a laugh, man.
Take your time, sir. All right. Never mind. These things happen.
Since leaving the depot this morning, the Sir Bobby Robson has travelled over 300 miles. After pulling out of Newcastle station, is now heading to Edinburgh, its first terminus of the day. The 100-mile route through the Northumberland countryside and the Scottish borders to Scotland's capital city is one of the most picturesque stretches on the line.
My favourite part of the route is probably Newcastle, Edinburgh, because it's lovely. It's the only part of the East Coast route where you actually travel up the coast. Everything else is inland, you know, so you get that lovely scenery. It's nice to pass through Berwick and Allenmouth and places like that, you know, and then when you get north of Berwick, you're quite close to like the rocks, and you think, how long is the main line going to be? Maybe another 50 years with the way they say the country's corroding around the coastline, you know. You're quite close to somewhere. It's beautiful. It's absolutely awesome, that part of the world.
It's not just the view from the train which provides its passengers with memories. Today, the train's name also gives pause for thought.
And when this train drew up, we did notice it was called the Sir Bobby Robson. In fact, we pointed it out to you, didn't I? Which I think is rather nice.
It's going back to the old days, isn't it? Where trains all had names, or most of them did, I think.
And I noticed it was Sir Bobby Robson, the famous football manager. I think it goes back when I was a lad, and of course we had steam trains in those days. The most important ones used to have names on them, and you know, I think it's a nice touch to name a train like this. Yeah, you know, it takes you back to the years of steam.
While the Sir Bobby Robson speeds towards Edinburgh, Karen and Mark are busy serving dozens of breakfasts to tourists on their train.
A very, very busy train. Mainly a lot of leisure travellers, this one.
Hope you enjoy that this morning.
You're going to get a lot of food, because what you tend to find is a lot of the leisure travellers take full advantage of the offers and they'll eat.
Did you want a vegetarian breakfast this morning? No, full English? You were the full English, weren't you? Yeah. Now, Mark's lovely for doing the breakfast orders, but he forgets to put what coach we're in, so I don't know where this is. Vegetarian here? Yeah? Found it. You can see it. Well...
Don't worry, Karen, I've got your back.
I've got 2 sausages.
Is that all right for you?
Breakfast for you.
Sausages. A picture of your sausage. That is absolutely bizarre. Your sausages. Lovely.
Oh!
Edinburgh's Waverley Station, and the Sir Bobby Robson is just over 400 miles into his mammoth 1,000-mile shift. The team has only 33 minutes for another rapid turnaround. The water needs topping up, the carriage is cleaned, and a complete set of seat reservations need to be placed before the Sir Bobby Robson is ready to head back south. At Newcastle Station, Daz rescues some living lost property.
The fish one that found on the train, and you know, like the proverbial bag, like the green one at the fair. To think that somebody would leave their goldfish. Nobody ever came looking for them. It's supposed to keep you tranquil, isn't it? It's supposed to, yeah, not that I'll get much to look at them.
Edinburgh's Waverley Station is a grand landmark in Scotland's capital, and the East Coast Line's gateway to and from the Scottish Highlands. Today is also the beginning of a long journey home for an American music student. She's been to Scotland for a somewhat special music convention. 21-year-old Estella has been playing the harp for over 10 years. She loves enchanting strangers with his beautiful sound, and and today's first-class passengers could be the perfect captive audience.
How are you all doing today? I'm sad to be leaving Scotland. I'm going back to England for a little while.
So why were you up in Scotland?
There's a harp festival happening. I play the harp, that's what I've stuck up
How
around.
interesting.
Thank you. Maybe. Maybe.
Can't wait, come on.
Okay. What are your names?
I'm Fiona.
Fiona, nice to meet you. Estella.
Hello, Estella.
Yeah.
I'm Jason.
Jason, nice to meet you.
I'm Jeff.
Hi, Jeff. So, I play harp, and Scotland and Ireland and, you know, the whole of the UK really has this amazing tradition of harp music, and harps are the oldest instrument in the world.
Okay.
It was really special to come up north and visit kind of the home of the harp. Well, I can show you mine if you want.
Well,
Yeah? Okay. I just tuned it this morning. You're in luck.
Very long.
Gonna have to kind of sit on the edge, but...
Do you mind if I take a photograph of you?
No, go for it.
Oh, lovely, thank you.
While Estella gives an impromptu performance on her southbound train, over on platform 11, the midday Edinburgh to London train is about to depart, powered by one of the East Coast's most beloved engines, the Sir Bobby Robson.
2 spinach, 2 spinaches.
The spinach and republic
On board the Sir Bobby Robson today is a fan, but not a football fan. John is on a return trip from London, and it's the engine which sets his pulse racing.
I adore train travel. Train is the best. This is 12 o'clock, East Coast, fast train from Edinburgh, Waverley to King's Cross. We stop more going down. Coming up, it was just Peterborough, Darlington, obviously York, but that sort of thing. And we don't have a driving thing at that end. It's a driving van trailer. We've only got one engine, and that's at the other end, and it's pushing us all the way.
Oh, and don't get him started on his train tracking gadgets.
Yes, I use the GPS. Only 30 miles from Berwick-on-Tweed, and at the moment we're doing 106 miles an hour. We aren't allowed to do more than 125, but it goes up to about 126. This train can actually do 140, but the signalling is not quite adequate. But it's, I love it. They're marvellous things, these. It is just purely for the fun of it. Other people play sport. I can't stand sport.
Before he had GPS, he used to use an old army compass. It used to drive me mad.
For most passengers, it's not fancy gadgets that capture the attention, it's the spectacular scenery of the northeast coast.
Allenmouth.
Your party is beautiful, absolutely beautiful.
It's beautiful, isn't it? It's like when we go past there in the summertime and the sun's shining, Beth has to come and find me, or I found her, and we say Allenmouth, and then you look out the window
because the sea comes right round the houses, and the houses are all different colours. And when the sun shines on them,
it's beautiful. So we're aspiring to have a day out there, aren't we, Beth?
My favourite part of the route has to be towards Berwick and through. It is absolutely stunning, and I'm very fortunate that as the chaplain for Yorkshire and the North East, it's my bit, as it were, and I'm very, very proud of it and very protective of it as well.
Base to rail 1, David. Unfortunately, no, York don't have a seat for that one, David.
While the Sir Bobby Robson heads into Newcastle for the second time today, Information Controller Daz is dealing with lost property.
Lost property off the last Terminator. It's, a guy's phoned up, I take it it's this one, because he said he's got a bag with a shirt in it, but he never said there was an iPad in it, so I don't know if it's the same bag. I'll have to... The guy's going to phone back shortly, so when he does phone back, I'll just say to him, can you tell us if there's anything else in it? In the make of the shop.
Most lost property is eventually claimed by its owner, but the odd items have become permanent fixtures.
The fish one that I found on the train in a, you know, like the proverbial bag, like the green one at the fair. One of the lads, Mickey, I think he or somebody donated the tank for her, and we just thinking. But there was, I think, it was 3 or 4 of them. There's only one, the big yellow ones, that one, the original one left. The others have died. But I mean, I think they were for over a year. And because we didn't want to be lonely, we've had another 2 goldfish, and they're coming on well. And I think somebody's had 2 suckerfish in there to clean the tanks and that, you know. Kind of sprouted up in the last month and a bit, but to think that somebody would leave their goldfish, nobody ever came looking for them. And it's great because when if you get any kids who come in with their parents, they look with lost property, they just dart over there, make a beeline, you know. So it's great. They love the fish, and it's supposed to keep them tranquil, isn't it? It's supposed to, not that I get much to look at them. I had goldfish a few years ago, mine didn't last there. I didn't have a nice big tank like that, like, but I couldn't date me, like, not green fingered and out like that. I tried tomatoes one time and they didn't last either, so I've given up now.
Back on the southbound service from Scotland, Harper's Distiller's impromptu performance in first class has given her some new fans.
So what are the colours then on the reds and blues?
So the red strings are C's, like that, and then the blue strings are F, and it just kind of goes up, C, D, E, F, G. It's always nice to feel like you're being embraced by whoever you end up sitting with, because it's such a random, you know, occurrence. Do you want to try? Anyone want to have a go?
Go on, I'll have a go.
There you go.
1, 2,
2, 3.
Is this your station?
This is our station.
Yes, we've got to go.
So nice to meet you. It was really nice to talk to them. I think that they definitely enjoyed it. I feel really lucky that they let me pull it out and wanted to. We're so curious, you know. It's always great when people are interested in what you do, and that was an honor.
With her musical journey behind her, Estella arrives in King's Cross knowing her beautiful harp music has some new devotees. It's party time.
We've just had a good day in York on the races, but we didn't win much money.
Mrs. Sir Bobby Robson heads home.
1,322 miles in total. It's not bad for a day's work, eh?
It's almost 5 p.m. and for the second time today, one of East Coast's most iconic engines, the Sir Bobby Robson, is getting ready to leave King's Cross. Once again, the train is taking passengers north to Newcastle before heading back to London for its final journey of the day.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is Osman Kadri, your train guard. A warm welcome aboard this is 1730 East Coast service to Newcastle, calling at Peterborough, Newark North Gate, York, Darlington, Durham, and due to arrive at Newcastle at 2031.
For the third time today, the train has a new on-board team, including Osman, who's been working on the railways for nearly 4 decades.
Please? I've been 38 years as a guard. I love it. I enjoy when I help some passengers and they say thank you. That makes my day. This is a very expensive ticket, isn't it? Thank you. Your ticket, please? I personally work on the assumption of having a human touch when I do. Your ticket is not valid because it's super off-peak. They are not valid between 3 and 7 o'clock. So you need to upgrade this to the full fare, I'm afraid. You might need to pay another, I'll check for you how much. There is a young lady there who is, unfortunately, has a child ticket and she has only £25. The ticket is £28. And I could see the tears in her eyes, so I let her go without taking the excess. And she was so pleased and happy, and she'll be now ever grateful that she travelled on East Coast. See your ticket, please. Thank you.
In the carriages, there is a change of passenger too. Gone are the afternoon tourists, replaced by rush hour commuters returning home.
Half of my train will be getting off at Peterborough, you know. Thank you indeed. You are not, definitely. Thank you. Oh.
It keeps ringing and it's some lady's phone, but we don't know whose it is.
Okay, if it rings, I'll find out. Thank you. Where did you find it, sir?
It was just left there. Can you remember what the name was?
Karina, that's right, yeah. Karina. Okay. Thank you, sir.
Although driver Steve travels on the East Coast Line hundreds of times a year, he never tires of the view.
But it's quite interesting. When we travel passenger, like if I'm travelling with my family or even sometimes we get a job where we might take a train to York and then come back as a passenger. And you sit looking out of the window, you actually see things that you don't normally see because I'm so used to focusing that way and not sideways. Now what I'm actually going to do, I'm going to do a brake test. And this is just to confirm that all the brakes are working. So I want to make sure we've got a speed reduction and you can feel it slowing down. Because we don't want the first time we test the brakes, if we can help it, to be when we're stopping at a signal, just in case there's a problem. But never had a problem.
In standard class, before Osman can file a report about the lost mobile, the phone starts to ring.
This is the telephone which has been found. It's been ringing now. Hello? Whoever you are ringing, they have lost their phone. Can you get in touch with them and tell them? Oh, it's your phone. All right, then. This is the guard on this train. She got on this wrong train and she left in a hurry, leaving the phone behind. She should have been on the 1735. But she wrongly got on the 1730. I can take it to York and you can collect it from York perhaps? All right then. I will give the telephone to the station staff telling them that you will be there about around 9 o'clock to pick it up. Okay, you are welcome, thank you. At least she's happy now, she'll get her phone back. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Osman Khatri, your train guard. We shall shortly be arriving at York. When leaving the train, take all your personal belongings with you. And thank you for choosing to travel East Coast.
As the train pulls into York Station, Osman hands over the lost mobile phone to the train dispatcher for the owner to collect later.
At telephone, a passenger will come and collect it. The name is Corina, about 9 o'clock.
All right.
She left it on at King's Cross. She got on and got off.
Okay.
Huh?
No worries,
Yeah? Thank you very much.
Job done, and Osman's back on the northbound journey again.
We will. Thank you very much.
With the rush hour over, a whole new crowd of sports fans have boarded the Sir Bobby Robson at York.
Thank you, York passengers.
We've just had a good day in York on the races, but we didn't win much money. How much have you lost? £20. At least. Have you? £25. I've got to pay my ticket anyway. I've got to go.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Osman Khatri, your train guard. We shall shortly be arriving at Newcastle station, our final destination.
Newcastle for the third time today. And another race against time as the staff prepares the Sir Bobby Robson for the last leg of today's marathon.
This train, Sir Bobby Robson, is now heading back on last trip of the day. This is the last train leaving Newcastle for London, and we do arrive a bit late into London.
As his shift nears its end, Osman finds time to make sure the lost phone and its owner have been successfully reunited.
Hello, yes, Corina, this is the guard. Have you received your telephone from York? You have? Oh, I'm glad that you are reunited with it. You are welcome indeed, my pleasure. Thank you indeed. Bye, bye. Yeah, the lady who lost the phone on our last trip has been now reunited with her phone, and she's very, very happy.
As Sir Bobby Robson approaches London, the final destination of a long day, the passengers are still talking about the man himself.
Actually, I know an immense amount about him because as a probable 12 or 13-year-old lad, I stood outside the dressing room and heard some of the verbals that he gave his players. So although he quite rightly deserved himself to be a sir and was a great manager, he was also a very tough guy. That was probably part of his legacy. I mean, Ipswich doing what they did as a very small-time club and achieving what they achieved. And I think that's testament to the man as to how much of a coach and a manager and, you know, in later life as a director that he was.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Agad speaking. We are now approaching King's Cross Station, our final destination. Bobby Robson will be going back into the depot once we finish here in London. Back to Bounds Green. That's it, my day is over.
18 hours after delivering the engine to King's Cross, depot driver Colin once again climbs into the cab to return the Sir Bobby Robson to the engine depot in North London.
We go into Bounds Green maintenance depot, but first we've got to give it a wash. This is the CET, which is the discharge for the effluent tanks. In the good old days, they used to discharge directly onto the track, but when these were built, they had retention tanks, so that all the waste is collected and is discharged here. Now go into the depot, and once it's in the depot, it will receive maintenance, a bit of tender love and care ready for its next diagram, which I'm not too sure where that's going tomorrow. Looks like he's waiting for us, which is good news. And then what we need now is a hand signal from them. Once we get here, that'll be the end of the journey. Another day over. It's nearly finished for the night, yeah? And I'll get them all ready for tomorrow. I left here this morning just before 6 o'clock. It's exactly the same spot as it left this morning, and that's 1,322 miles in total. It's not bad for a day's work, eh?